An unseen crisis is unfolding in the skies above us. It's not a battle fought with missiles, but a silent strategic conflict waged in factories, boardrooms, and shipping lanes across the globe. This is a war of attrition, targeting the very foundation of modern military might. Section 1. The Silent Halt. Consider this modern fighter jet, a marvel of engineering. It represents the pinnacle of a century of aviation innovation. But right now, it sits incomplete on a factory floor, a ghost of its intended potential. Its advanced avionics are dark. Its powerful engine housing is a hollow cavern. Its sleek wings are waiting for crucial components, actuators, control surfaces, and specialized alloys that are thousands of miles away and months, if not years, behind schedule. This is not a hypothetical scenario. It is a quiet crisis unfolding within the heart of the United States defense industrial base. The hum of productivity has been replaced by an unsettling silence. The intricate, globalized system designed for maximum efficiency has become a critical vulnerability. For decades, the West outsourced the production of essential materials and components, creating a complex web of dependencies that spans the entire planet. Now, that very system is being used as a weapon. The assembly lines are not stopping because of a strike or a design flaw. They are slowing because of a deliberate, long-term strategy enacted from halfway around the world. A strategy of economic statecraft designed to methodically gain leverage over a rival. The gears of American airpower are grinding slower. From the rare earth minerals in our guidance systems to the microelectronics at the heart of our radar, the source of the friction is becoming alarmingly clear. The central claim of our investigation is stark. It is a conclusion drawn from analyzing shipping manifests, corporate filings, and intelligence briefings. China has systematically and successfully slowed U.S. fighter jet production by gaining dominant, and in some cases monopolistic, control over the global supply chain for critical aerospace materials and components. This is not a future threat. It is a present-day reality with measurable consequences for national security, impacting our ability to build, maintain, and project air power at the very moment geopolitical tensions are rising. The silent halt on this factory floor is an echo of a much larger strategic gambit. To fully grasp the magnitude, consider the complexity of an F-35 or an F-22. These aircraft are assembled from a jigsaw puzzle of over 300,000 parts, sourced from more than 1,500 suppliers worldwide. Each component, from a simple bolt to a complex circuit board, must meet exacting specifications and arrive precisely on time. A delay in just one part can cascade, halting the entire line. The just-in-time model has exposed a deep dependency ripe for exploitation. China's influence came from a patient, multi-pronged campaign. First, dominance over raw materials and processed goods, mining at home and acquiring mines abroad. Second, limiting exports via subtle quotas, licensing, and delays. Third, state-subsidized market pressure to undercut competitors and consolidate supply. Fourth, aggressive tech pursuit, legally and illegally, absorbing expertise and IP. Fifth, diplomatic levers that shape trade rules and entrench China's central role. In the high-stakes arena of geopolitical competition, not all weapons are explosive. One of the most potent is economic, wielded through China's near monopoly on a group of materials known as rare earth elements. This isn't an accidental market position. It's the result of a decades-long industrial strategy, creating a powerful lever of influence over global defense manufacturing. The group comprises 17 elements, names like neodymium, dysprosium, and yttrium. While not necessarily rare in the Earth's crust, they are incredibly difficult and costly to mine and process into the high-purity forms required by advanced technology. They are the essential vitamins of modern defense systems. They are indispensable in the powerful permanent magnets that drive fighter jet electric motors, actuate guidance fins, and enable sophisticated radar systems. Without them, an F-35's advanced capabilities are grounded. They're also key to the accuracy of precision-guided munitions, the functionality of satellite communications, and the effectiveness of electronic warfare suites. Every domain of modern warfare, air, land, sea, space, and cyber, depends on them. Without a steady, reliable supply, the entire defense industrial base is at risk. Production cannot proceed. By the early 2020s, China controlled about 60% of global rare earth mining, but its strategic dominance lies in processing, where it commands nearly 90% of the market. This downstream control is the critical vulnerability that creates a global chokehold. Beijing can tighten or release its grip at will, using export quotas, licensing delays, and administrative hurdles. The effects of these actions ripple through supply chains almost immediately. Prices for critical materials can skyrocket overnight, blowing up budgets and delaying critical defense programs. This isn't theoretical. In 2010, following a territorial dispute, China cut rare earth exports to Japan, sending shockwaves through global industry. It was a stark wake-up call for the Pentagon, demonstrating Beijing's willingness to weaponize its supply chain dominance. More recently, between 2022 and 2024, Beijing has further tightened its control, implementing new export licensing systems for specific rare earths and related technologies, explicitly linking their trade to national security. Western nations are scrambling to catch up. U.S. efforts, like revitalizing the Mountain Pass mine in California, are a start, but they are years, if not decades, from matching China's scale, integration, and cost-effectiveness. The stark reality is that a political decision in Beijing can directly halt fighter jet output in Fort Worth, and the dependency extends beyond rare earths. China also dominates the supply of other strategic materials like magnesium for lightweight alloys and high-purity graphite for batteries and missile components, adding more layers to its potential leverage. Beyond controlling raw materials, a second, more insidious front has been opened in the battle for industrial dominance, corporate takeovers, and engineered economic dependence. This isn't just aggressive business, it's a subtle, effective tactic of strategic attrition waged not with armies, but with balance sheets and acquisition offers. Over the last 15 years, a wave of strategic acquisitions and investments has been quietly executed. State-owned and state-influenced firms methodically targeted small and mid-sized suppliers in the West, the unsung heroes of complex supply chains. These weren't household names. They were often sole-source providers of hyper-specialized components, high-pressure valves, precision actuators, bespoke electronics. Companies that represented a single point of failure in a multi-billion-dollar defense program. They were either purchased outright or captured by becoming their largest, most indispensable customer. In either scenario, the leverage shifted, and with it, decades of priceless institutional knowledge. The pattern is predictable. First, production lines move to China to cut costs. Then, R&D follows, and critical expertise transfers with the people who are relocated or replaced. Over time, the original Western facilities downsize or close entirely, systematically eroding domestic capacity and know-how. Consider the case of a small German robotics innovator, a world leader in precision manufacturing. After its acquisition, its core technology was replicated in China within years, then scaled up for mass production at a fraction of the cost, effectively competing its parent company out of certain markets. The innovator became a hollowed-out shell. Now, major defense contractors find themselves dependent on these foreign-owned entities, adding dangerous new layers of security and supply chain risk. The second pillar of this strategy is overwhelming pricing pressure, fueled by state subsidies and low-cost loans that Western firms simply cannot match. This creates a market environment where fair competition is impossible. Chinese firms are incentivized to operate on razor-thin margins, or even at a sustained loss, with the strategic goal of seizing market share, not generating immediate profit. For standardized components like fasteners, bearings, and basic circuit boards, the price is squeezed until Western producers can no longer afford to operate their lines. When a U.S. aerospace bolt factory closes, it's not just a building that's lost. A vital piece of the industrial ecosystem dies. Along with the factory goes the skilled workforce, the specialized machinery, and the institutional knowledge passed down through generations. This capability, once lost, can take decades and billions of dollars to rebuild, if it can be rebuilt at all. Consider David, a skilled aviation mechanic at a major U.S. assembly plant. For weeks, his team cannot complete a jet, waiting on a specific set of electronic actuators. The parts are stuck, held up by new export regulations. They work on other tasks, but without that part, the jet is a motionless sculpture. Morale drops. Whispers of furloughs spread. Multiply this by hundreds of suppliers and dozens of lines. Jobs and stability at risk. Every delayed jet can't train new pilots, can't deploy forward, can't replace older airframes. Aircrews may fly with fewer modern capabilities if delays persist. A slower production rate means a smaller, less modern, less prepared force. In geopolitics, readiness delays can embolden adversaries. The same parts feed new builds and spares, forcing choices between modernization and readiness. Backlogs grow, aircraft sit longer, and combat readiness declines from a single distant choke point. The claim that China has slowed U.S. fighter production is not hyperbole. It is verifiable. Evidence lives in repeated halts, soaring inputs, and Pentagon audits. The F-35 pause over a single Chinese-sourced magnet revealed systemic fragility. When a rival dictates speed, sovereignty itself is diminished. Diversify through friendshoring. Cultivate suppliers and allied nations to spread risk. Reshore critical components, microelectronics, specialized alloys, essential mechanicals. This requires incentives, loan guarantees, direct investment, and workforce training. Extend chip-style models across defense-relevant industries. Build strategic stockpiles of rare earths, cobalt, lithium, and other critical minerals. Rebuild human capital with vocational training, apprenticeships, and STEM education. This is a necessary course correction, from pure efficiency to resilient security. The speed of our planes will reflect the urgency with which we act today.